Hey, everybody. I don't know how much of pork
nice.
chop got yelled into the stream as we started. Might have been all of it, might have been none of it. Who knows? It's unknowable. Welcome to Delve Requisite. Happy Tuesday, everybody. We are here with the Fool's Errant for another episode of our Dungeons & Dragons stream. Before we begin tonight, let's get all of our housekeeping business out of the way. I want to thank our sponsors, as always, here at Proficiency Bonus, Little Dragon Corp and Cardboard Castle Games. Little Dragon Corp is a Canadian-based dice company that sells polyhedral game dice. You can check out their website by typing !Little Dragon into the chat at any point during tonight's stream. If you find something that you like on their website and you decide to make a purchase, you can use our code BONUS at checkout for 15% off your order. Our second sponsor, Cardboard Castle Games, is a brick and mortar tabletop RPG, trading card, board game, comic book shop located in Evans, Georgia. I don't have it with me here. If you are not located in Evans, Georgia, fear not. They have a robust online website that you can use to purchase all of the things that your heart might desire. You can get a link to that website by typing... chat is distracting me. CGC into chat. Nope. CCG into chat. CCG. It's been 3 damn years. I still can't get it right. CCG
you had
into
a streak
chat.
going, unfortunately. Combo breaker.
Combo breaker. The third sponsor of today is Key Lime Pie.
Good, you chose correctly.
E, I guess.
Well, Adam's out.
Get out of here, Banana Foster's asshole. Disgusting.
Happy Pi Day, everybody. It is 3.14 day. It is Pi Day here on Proficiency Bonus and here on the world, I guess, everywhere else. One more piece of housekeeping business before we get into our stream for tonight. As you well know, as we mentioned it last week, and as you can see on the fun icons above my shoulder on this side here, we are in full swing of the March to GaryCon. Proficiency Bonus has been invited to participate in GaryCon this year. We're very excited about that. A link to GaryCon has just been dropped in chat for you. You can get that later in the stream if you want by typing !GaryCon. GaryCon 15, the official dates of the convention are March 23rd to 26th at the Grand Geneva Resort in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. If you can't make it to the convention in person, you can pick up a virtual badge and sign up to participate virtually. As I said, type !GaryCon in our Twitch chat. You get a quick link to the virtual GaryCon site where you can register and begin signing up for games. There are plenty available, so get them while they're hot. Digital swag is also available. Check that out on their website. The Gax Pack with DM Jason Charles Miller will be streamed live on the GaryCon Twitch channel Sundays at 1 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Eastern on March 4th, which you already missed, 12th, which you already missed, and 19th, which you can still catch because that's how time works. Actually, that's not how VOD works. You can go back onto GaryCon's Twitch channel and watch those other ones too, so you didn't really miss them. Proficiency Bonus will have a featured stream during the convention on the GaryCon Twitch channel on Saturday, March 25th. 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That game is being run by DM Michael. I am playing in it. Brittany is playing in it. Some other folks from Pro Ball are playing in it with a special guest who is, I don't think has been officially announced yet, but it is somebody who is way more important than any of us are. So stay tuned for that. Saturday, March 25th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the GaryCon Twitch channel. So, thank you, GaryCon, for having us for your event this 2023 convention season. So, let's start playing some D&D, shall we? We've we've waited long enough, and we got some shit to get to. The group of you are within the Ignean prison, the Estelgath, a inescapable supermax prison designed by the Igneans, making use of a sort of a strange portal to a nega realm of some sort that is inescapable once you have been thrown in there. You guys came in on purpose, wisely, as you have come to retrieve Zintrus's former member and ex-general of the Brotherhood of Artanis, turned to the good side, Lady Eniana Viren, who was thrown into this prison here by the Brotherhood after trying to turn against them. While in here, you have completed the sort of side task assigned to you by your ticket out of here, one Rana, of rival group turned tentative allies, Rogers and the boys. You have taken out the Butcher of the Estelgath, otherwise known as Pendragon, another general of the Brotherhood who has long eluded you. After an interesting conversation with him, you killed what turned out to be a vessel being controlled by the real Pendragon from elsewhere. Your escape from his observatory tower at the top of the Estelgath's sort of shadow realm prison that you were in led to the destruction of a large portion of the top of the tower from the spectral energy lanterns that he was harvesting life force out of the Estelgath's population with. We left off last session as you guys made clear from the bottom of the observatory about here at the top of the fortress. The explosion from the observatory shaking the entire fortress, sort of quelling the chaos that has been going on around the base of the upper part of the fortress and the prison settlement at large. Momentarily, as an eerie silence fills the surrounding bleak terrain, and from out across the desolate flats that surround the Estelgath, your ears are met with a echoing, howling, piercing, legionous shriek. I will turn it over to you as you stand outside the destroyed tower right now. You have Lady Viren, you have Randall Sinclair, you have Rogers, and you have Rana in tow with you guys. The wardens, for their part right now, don't seem to be paying you guys any direct mind. There is still evidence of that sort of kerfuffle that Walter kicked off between the Oblivionite cultists and the wardens to cover your guys' entrance. There are a number of piles of dust scattered around this area of cultists that were disintegrated by the wardens' disintegration beams. But right now, the general vibe is kind of everybody's still in that moment of frozen, uh-oh, and a gentle, it almost has the texture of snow, but it is made of flakes of that luminous bluish greenish energy that had been spiraling up from the top of the observatory, begins to fall down, covering everything in the vicinity, and you see it the storm cloud of this extends out across the region, much further into the out into the wastes. What do you guys do?
I'm immediately going to turn to Rana and Rogers and say, just directly address Rana and say, okay, we need to get to where we need to go to leave here. Can we follow you, or do you need us to lead?
She says, it is, if we move quickly, there is not terribly far that we must travel. but we must go outside the boundaries of the fortress to get there.
Less than a day?
She says an hour at best if we are unimpeded and move quickly, but
Okay, no need for food and water, then go.
she like
Quickly,
begins to move with you.
quietly, we're just moseying through, getting away from that. Alar's gonna
Fast walk
take some-
clipboard.
Yeah,
Fast
Alar's
walk
gonna take
clipboard.
some of the snow stuff and he's gonna wrap it up in a rag because I don't know, might be useful to give to the bookkeepers later if it survives the transit out.
Okay. As you guys begin to walk, Rana has the lantern, Walter, that you gave to her, kind of like hugged to her. And she says, if we are able to procure any type of transportation, it will allow me, she like kind of jostles the lantern. She says, it will take me time to absorb the necessary energy from out of this lantern so that I may open a passageway back to our world once we reach the doorway. I can do that while we move if we can secure some way for me to ride in a wagon or a cart or of some sort. Otherwise, I will have to stop and build the stores of energy necessary.
Can Oz baby born you?
Yeah, like if Oz carries her. Is that okay?
Like just strap her to his back as a backpack. Can we make her a makeshift backpack?
Make a persuasion check.
Let's master blaster this. Come on, let's go. Persuasion. Ooh.
Oh no.
How's an 8 sound on a nat 1?
She's just glaring at you.
She kind of like looks at you and she looks at Oz. You can see she sort of like considers it. You definitely see the thought cross her mind of like, well, it might be faster, but like you can almost see the like thought cloud appear above her head that has like a little picture of like Osrius with like her as a full-grown adult person in like a baby Bjorn with her like adult limbs like dangling out of it. And she just shakes her head. She says, I think perhaps that would be an unrealistic burden on Osrius. There is another one of those like screams from out in the distance. She says, especially considering that is not a good noise.
Okay,
Right,
where's
carts?
Where are the
We
carts? Where's everything?
Probably close to the exit. Oh god, whatever the name the scavengers are might have one. We might have to steal it.
Yeah, Sinclair.
Yeah, Sinclair looks rough. A few of us are rough, right?
Sinclair's not in great shape. But he's up and moving. He did, I think, get a little bit of healing last round. That like he's fine. Sinclair tells you guys. He says, "Oh God, I keep forgetting that he has Nick Offerman's voice, and I have to practice it before we start, or I can't do it." What the hell was their name?
There was a phrase he used that
Magpies.
got you right into the voice.
Oh yeah, he goes, no, he goes, he says, the Magpies are probably your best bet. They make a point of traveling through the wastes outside of here. If anyone has any means for efficient transportation, it's probably them. And
Look, at this point, I will grab a freaking wheelbarrow if it'll help.
Let's just start going there.
Yep. Nice and easy. Look, act casual, but eyes open.
Casual. The tower blew up.
Yeah, we don't want to be the one be associated with the tower having blown up, do we?
Oh my god, what happened? Look at it. What's that over there?
Oz, make a deception check.
No. Okay. Actually, I think I'm pretty good at deception. Oh god. It's okay. It's okay. Ooh, okay. That is a 16.
Okay, you go, oh my god, what happened to the tower? And somebody nearby is like, I know, right? This is crazy.
Right? Oh my god. We're gonna go this way now.
Okay, good luck.
We gotta get out of here.
Yeah, let's go.
All right, we're
You
hell out of here.
you guys begin to move down away from the the upper portion of the Estelgath here, up on the tower observatory level, down into the fortress proper part here. You have to move, through the halls to get out to the battlements, which then will allow you to get down and begin to traverse the living portions of the Estelgath to get down and out. As you move into the halls, you see that there are a lot of people running around really quickly with intention. A lot of them that you see are wearing what are clearly sort of makeshifted or hewn together tabards that have painted on the chest in a red dye or ink, a three-pronged bird talon. Some of them just have a red sash tied around their waist. You guys know that the current dominant faction down here is the Crimson Talon. So you presume that these are members of this organization. They seem to be mustering for something. And you actually, as you move through the halls, you actually pass. You run through. You begin to make your way through a chamber that is a little bit larger and wider, where a group of people mustering, and you see there is an individual wearing one of these Crimson Talon tabards, who has most of a set of chainmail armor. It doesn't match, but it is mostly complete. And he has a two-handed broadsword strapped over his back. You see him standing, and he appears to be in conversation with one of the horrible monstrosities known as the Wardens. As you guys walk in, he turns and sees the group of you making your way through, and he fully turns to face you and he says, "You there? Who are you? Come here." Under his breath, Sinclair says to you guys, he says, "Stavros. He leads the Crimson Talon." And he waits to see what you guys are gonna do.
So
I've got it.
Is go or no go? Walt's just gonna
I don't
whisper
think we
back
have a
to
choice.
go or no go. Are we going to book it
So
right now?
he is where basically you guys came into the room through a chamber here. You're heading this way to exit out, and he's over here. So absolutely just fucking booking it is an option. If you choose not to listen to his hail.
If Walter says that, I'm waiting for Sinclair or someone else to make a call before I walk up to this dude.
Yeah, I'm gonna flag just whisper to Sinclair and say keep rolling, or
He looks at you and he says, "All right, that's entirely your call. I don't know how you want to play this."
You guys keep going.
Okay, yeah. So I'm gonna keep pushing Rana along, and we're just gonna
ALR is going to stop and go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with Alar. Alar and I will stop while the rest of the group can.
And
We'll speak
take
for
a
them.
few tentative steps forward. Who, me?
I'm keeping my head kind of down, I'm uncertain of what's going on.
So you guys kind of continue to move as you start to. Is anybody else besides Alar stopping to acknowledge you? So the rest of you keep walking.
I'm
it's interesting.
going
Okay.
with him.
Okay.
Yeah, it's interesting.
So you guys kind of peel off. The rest of you just head down, fast walk clipboard, continuing for the room. And he looks at you two approaching, and he looks at the rest of you continues. What? Damn it! And he just turns away from the warden that he was talking to, and kind of stomps towards you, and he goes, "I don't know who you people are, but you're armed. You have any idea what's happening here? Where are they going? Stop them!" Tell them to come back here.
Our friend got hit with some piece of the tower that fell. They're just taking him to the lower level to get at cover. I'm sorry, they're just a little freaked out. We mean no harm.
Tower exploded, man.
He shakes his head. He says,
I turn to Alar and I smack him across the face for speaking out against this man.
he goes, Jesus, okay. He goes,
I can't. I have 0 strength, so it doesn't actually hurt
I
anyone.
don't know who your friend is. I don't know who you people are, but like, you do not want. Do you have any idea what's about to happen? The lower levels is the last place you want to be. If you're capable and you have weapons, we need everyone we can get right now.
What's the plan, sir?
He like points back to where where the tower was. He says, "Whatever that was," he says, "it's raining this energy everywhere. That he says, it's the sorrow are going crazy." He says they're amassing at the base of the fortress. They've never pressed in these numbers before. He like thumbs back to where the warden is standing. He says, I don't know how much help they're going to be willing to be, but they're at least willing to help us now. He kind of like sneers a little. He says, not as if their lives are actually at risk, but we're going to marshal what we can. We have to defend the fortress. They're going to try and swarm in.
What about the people down in the lower levels?
Should we
If they're not fast enough to get up here, then they're already gone.
Okay. How about we'll go get our friends that can fight. We'll yell down for everyone who can come up that can be of use, and we'll rally. We'll meet you there.
Make a deception check.
Yep. Thank you.
Yup.
A 19 plus 11, bro.
Okay.
It's a 30, right?
Yeah,
Jesus.
it's 30.
Something like that.
He
Thankfully, he has legendary insight.
Charming little elf girl.
You saw that big guy. Get an axe.
Yeah,
Layer
he's-
axe.
he's
Let's get
carrying
him
her
at
her
least.
friend.
he
He's
looks at you
carrying
and
her friend.
he's like, fine. He says, get to the lower levels, help anybody that you can get up to the battlements. We're going to fortify here and try to hold against the sorrow.
Yes, sir.
As you start to turn away, like Alar, he like grabs your shirt, sort of like pulls you back, and he goes, hurry. And then he like gives you a little shove.
We're
Running, but
yeah.
so glad
We
my
at
line
this
works.
point, no, we are absolutely running because we got to catch up and got to make it look good.
so as I'm running, I am going to make a show of it. That like anyone who's like big, I'm gonna say, Crimson Talon, defenses at the battlements, go, and like I'm gonna
back to the battlements.
like we're yelling it as we go, but as soon as we can see our friends, I'm running up to them.
Okay.
As soon as we're out of his sight, I'm shutting up and I'm running. Like, I'll tell people as we pass that like the sorrow are gathering, but like I'm not really doing this man's job. Like,
When Citrus catches
I
up,
don't
Walter's
know
gonna be like, "What the hell's the sorrow?"
isn't those the creatures?
You don't want to know, but we're gonna find out very soon.
Sinclair, as you guys are like fast walk clipboarding, he says, the sorrow are what happens to people who give up when they spend too long in here.
The things on the other side, right? They eventually like change.
He nods,
They're
he
after,
says- he
they're
says-
after you go gray and like further than that, yeah.
People who spend too long here turn into the sorrow. He says there's different types of them. Some of them seem to be native to whatever this place is, but people who give in to the hopelessness that this place generates, they become these creatures. Normally, we either deal with anyone who's transforming or exile them out. Once you've turned, there's no fixing you, and all you try to do is get at people who haven't turned yet. Get at he like points at some of the glint that's like coming down. He says, "This whatever this energy it is, they're obsessed with it." He as it's like raining down, he says, it's got to be that the concentration of it in the air here has driven them crazy. They're going to stop at nothing to get in here, and anybody that can't get away from them is going to get torn apart.
You said it was settling down like snow?
Mhm.
Then Alar's, as he hears this, he's going to start gathering up as snowballs and, throwing into bundles of rags, because well, if we've got to make one of them think twice, throw it in another direction, run like hell.
He kind of nods. He
Here's
says,
a spirit snack.
He says, not a terrible idea. Some of the basic ones, the little swarmers, they're pretty simple-minded. That'd probably work on them. If we run into some of the bigger, badder ones.
Oh, we got blades.
Speaking of bigger and badder and problems that we're going to be facing, I'm going to just hit, now that we're with our friends, I'm going to hit mass cure wounds on everyone, and so 6 people who need it will get healed. So I know Oz took hits, Sinclair took hits, Rogers took hits. Those are the 3 that I was worried about the most.
Okay.
Alar took a couple.
So let me roll these. It's 3d8 plus 3.
I was about to say I don't need much.
Yeah, well, I'm just up. You're also going to be in the fight the most, though, like physically. So like I'm just gonna get anyone up as high as I
That's
can.
fair. That's fair.
Okay.
Pretty good.
How much healing was that?
Doing math. You know I can't do math. 22 points of healing.
Okay.
Ah, damn, that gets me back up to full.
So-
Rogers is also back up to full.
Okay, so that's
Um,
1, 2, 3, back up to full. So who else?
Sinclair is doing much better. Sinclair's not at full, but Sinclair is like, he had been kind of like walking, like limping
Yeah.
a little. He's
Did
in better
Rana
shape
get
now.
hit? Did Rana
No,
get hit?
Rana did not get hit.
Rana didn't get hit.
Rogers like body blocked for her and took a bunch of
Okay.
hits that were coming for her.
I'll throw to Brahm because I know he took at least one not great hit in there. I think.
Okay.
He looks. I'm
Well,
looking at his character
it
sheet.
has to go to 6 people, so like
Yeah.
it's going to
Okay.
the 6.
Okay.
And then I'll myself, even though that puts me up to full, and then Walter's fine.
Walter has 1 HP missing.
Okay. Well,
I mean, sorry, rephrase. Out of a 65, I'm a solid 64.
I mean you're the 6th person then because it has to go to 6.
Okay.
What about yourself? Did you?
I
did you take
up
that?
myself. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so that's as good as I can do for everybody. 22
Alrighty.
points of healing. I'd rather get everybody as close to good as we can if we're gonna be running into big nasty things.
So the only person that's still, the only 2 in there still kind of messed up are Osrius and Sinclair.
Yeah.
No, I'm full health.
Okay.
So Sinclair's the one who's still pretty has some.
He's fine. Like he's fine.
He's better.
He's
Missing
better.
some, but he's okay.
Yes, he's okay.
Heal 1.
You're welcome.
You guys make your way down.
Can the overflow from Walter go into Sinclair?
No, unfortunately. You guys make your way through the halls back out onto the main the main palisades around the base of the fortress that has been carved out of the rock, the area known as the battlements. The markets have been cleared of vendors and shoppers and stuff like that, and you see there are several groups of Crimson Talon fighters assembling here. There are a number of wardens kind of drifting along the through the area here. Some of them do appear to be remotely being controlled by guards on the outside. Some of them are just in patrol mode, currently uninhabited. You do see a few more are starting to filter down from other places around the upper parts of battlements and within the halls. There are a handful of people meandering around that aren't part of the the Crimson Talon like assembling like a fighting force. As you guys make your way sort of through the battlements, heading down towards the estates, make a anybody who wants to can make an insight check.
I'll do it. Yeah. We got +3 in insight. Woo! Ooh, okay, that is a
5.
22.
22. Okay.
16.
Okay.
16.
Alrighty. Osrius, you kind of like, you're just sort of looking around as you guys are making way. There is a group of individuals who are kind of hanging back close to like the wall of the upper part of the fortress at the back of the battlements, that are sort of clustered together and like leaned in a little bit. You see that they have like, their eyes are sort of like scanning, keep an eye, but they're like heads are together. Like if like textbook like conspiratorial like conspiring had a diagram associated with it, it would be this group of people. Like there's some people who are like planning something. You see they appear to be like the kind of the way they're positioned, they appear to be there is a woman with like a shaved, like completely shaved bald head, who you get the vibe is the ringleader of this group.
Could I possibly like are we close enough to just kind of like slip by them and like over here without like necessarily interacting?
You would definitely have to like beeline out of your way to get close to them, because like you guys are heading like down and out towards the part that will take you down around the curvature of that that peak. Whereas like you almost like came out of a doorway heading this way, and they were sort of like off to your shoulder this way. They're like hovering around the main entrance up into like halls into the fortress that you guys just came out of. So to like go over to them, you would have to like get out of your way.
I'm just gonna like, while we come out and like looking around, being like, hey,
What?
Walter, everybody, there's maybe these guys over here know what to do. Maybe there's something else they can do. They seem kind of weird. I don't know.
I'm
DM question.
Yeah.
When he points them out, are they wearing like the tattered chains of the
Yeah.
Void
No.
God worshippers?
No,
Yeah,
they
what
are
are
not
they wearing?
Oblivionites.
Also,
Okay.
real quick, I say this, it's like, are we like kind of like hurrying here? Or
Kind
are
of.
we
Yeah,
just like
we're kind of
noticing
okay.
this? Okay, so it's like I guess I'm trying.
You're
to
like
get
catching this out
part
of the
like,
corner of your eye of like
Are-
everybody else is kind of like either nervously
Okay.
gathering, or like the Crimson Talon guys are like assembling to try and like get ready to fight. These people are like decidedly lurking.
Look, okay.
they're not with the they don't have the same clothing as the Crimson
They
Talon. and
they're wearing
not-
like brown, sort of just like
Are
brown.
they the
I
Okay.
have something I would like to do.
Okay.
Par for the course.
All right.
When he points them out, I had a terrible insight roll. So, can I pick up on which one is the leader looking person, or do I still
Probably
pick
now with your crappy insight roll, probably not. Like you,
up? All right, cool.
you
The
you just see
nearest
the
one
group
to
there.
me of the group, I'm going to cast message at them,
Okay.
and I'm
What-
going
What
to
you
say,
doing?
Oh no.
and I'm going to say to them,
Oh god.
the Crimson Talon is abandoning the lower areas. Flee while you can. They can respond if they choose to.
You get back. You get back like, the fuck? What is this? What's going on? Who are you? Where are you? Like, and you just see like one of the guys like is like going like this, and the others in the group are like,
We're still running. We're just letting them deal with that
I'm
now.
just sowing discord at this point
okay.
because we need a little bit of chaos going on here.
Yes.
But I'll try to keep an eye on them every so often and see what they do.
Okay. As you move, as you do that, and you guys move past and continue to move away, Oz, as you pointed the group out, Sinclair turns and looks, and he frowns, and as without breaking stride with the rest of you, he goes, Scorpion Brigade.
The ones that want to take over.
He goes, the bald lady is Larchwood, their leader. He goes, if I had to guess, based on their general shittiness over there, they're planning to go inside and try and take control of the keep while the Crimson Talon is dealing with the Sorrow.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, I don't like any of these people, and we're not going to be here, but that kind of feels super crappy. to me.
As you guys, he goes, your call. Reminder, most of the people in this prison are murderers and other various forms of bad people.
Yeah.
Right. Let's just open the gates ourselves and
let's just
let life happen.
leave them to it. I'm done. I was thinking of doing ascending to Stavros, but I'm not, because
No.
I just don't care enough.
Let's just keep it noted for when things go on.
I say to Sinclair as we're running, as we're going, if you see another trusted high-level Crimson Talon, or that someone that Stavros would trust, point him out. Otherwise, I want nothing to do with it, as we're still moving.
Okay, you continue to move. He nods, and it's actually Lady Viren that speaks up a minute later, and she says, "Not all of the people in here are in here for worthy causes, and I think no one deserves the fate of being torn to shreds by the monsters that exist outside of this place. Just, I am not advocating staying behind and dying alongside them, but my conscience would be clearer if we have the opportunity to help them not be overrun. As if you can deliver a warning to Stavros about the Scorpion Brigade's treachery."
Shit. Fine. Damn it. Stupid loyalties to this lady. God damn it. I'm saying that out loud as I'm running.
She smiles. She says, I have no love for Stavros and his ilk, but they are the current best defense that the Estelgath will put against the incoming incursion
I'm
of
running
Sorrow.
like this. I'm just
God damn it!
Is there anybody that looks like
just
a leader? Sorry. Is there anybody that looks like a leader of the Crimson Talons that's down here? Not like a high level leader, but like a leader-y
I'm
person?
just gonna send it to stop. Forget it. It's gotta happen. She said that, and I was interested. Guilted. Crap. How far away are we from Stavros? If I send this, could this mother ever come catch us? Since we're not returning.
Probably not.
It really depends. If there's a lot of factors at play here, right?
Okay.
How badly is he going to want to chase you down? He kind of has other stuff going on right now.
Yeah. Oh, gosh. Okay, we're still running. All of this we're still fast.
Yeah, you guys reach the perimeter of the battlements and begin to descend down the switchback trail that is the estates. You are kind of starting to have to fight your way against the press of the crowd as people in the estates in the lower slums have caught on to what the fuck is happening and are starting to try and get up and into the fortress.
Every so often as we're running, after learning that bit of lore, Walter's going to shoot off messages at anybody wearing Crimson Talon garb that Scorpions are plotting something by the entrance. And I'm just going to fire that off as I go.
Yeah. I will send a message to Stavros as soon as we hit the switchback and we're down it just a little. And I'm just going to say, I'm sorry I lied to you. The Scorpion Brigade are plotting a takeover while you defend everyone here. Protect them well. We'll do what we can on the outside. Goodbye.
Okay. You get back. What the? Who? Understood.
He knows it's me. He would know if we've met. He would know it's me.
Does he know it's you?
Yeah. Sending is
I mean, it's a voice that he just heard a few minutes ago.
Sending says, you send a short message, 25 words, to a creature with which you are familiar. The creature hears the message in its mind, recognizes you as the sender.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So, like, he doesn't know my name.
You don't
like,
really know who you are, so he's confused a minute. But he doesn't ask questions. He just eventually just goes understood, and doesn't follow up any further communication.
Out loud, I say to Aniana, he understands, keep moving, and then I will also to anyone that looks strong but isn't maybe necessarily Crimson Talon, I'll just say get to the battlements. There's, they're gonna need you.
While this is going on among the press, Alar's looking for something that looks a small cart, a wheelbarrow, just something that has been abandoned in the mad rush to get that way.
Okay,
Also, the noble's carriage or any other fanciness if there happens to be here.
Make a survival check as you guys race through the
Yeah, that's
the
something
estates.
I'm not proficient in, but I rolled 16.
Okay.
Can we all look? Or is it just...
All of
I
us
mean,
or just Alar?
I'm
To mitigate
Maybe he's doing something
six
else.
people making $1 million to mitigate sextuple advantage. We'll just have Alar's roll sort of suffice for the group. You
Fine.
do with a 16. You do come across some things that could be some options. Like there's some wheelbarrows, some like rickshaw style carts. Like you definitely find some things that you could make use of. You don't know how useful some of the stuff that you come across is going to be. Like, certainly, like, you could sit Rana in a wheelbarrow and, like, somebody could run with her. That's not going to be necessarily ideal over
long terrain.
Over, like, rocky and treacherous and like, windy, uneven terrain. So, like... dealer's choice. You want to grab a wheelbarrow and throw Rana in it to at least get her started on this process while you guys exit. You certainly can, but you're not finding anything that you think is like a great solution for like once you actually get out of the settlement and are trying to like escape your way through the through the Badlands beyond to your exit point.
I had a thought. It's stupid. Can we stop for 10 minutes?
Do anything you want.
Walter's gonna say,
Why?
wait, I forgot. I can make a floating disc.
All right. Alar's going to
See,
start looking around for a
minutes.
a doorway entrance that appears to be an abandoned spot.
Easy enough to you find your way to something that you
Okay,
can.
everybody,
pile
in.
Wait, can we all fit on this floating disc?
No,
We just need Rana to.
We just need Rana
Oh.
to sit on it.
Okay, once
She doesn't
everybody's in, Alar's going to cast minor illusion to make it look like a wall.
Okay.
Okay, and then I'll take 10 minutes to make floating disc.
Okay. You guys pile in.
10 minutes and 6 seconds. Sorry.
10 minutes and 6 seconds. At 10 minutes and 5 seconds, you hear the first signs of the exterior defenses of the outer portion of the Estelgath come under attack. A sort of growing cacophonous wailing, keening noise begins to get louder and louder from the distance, punctuated every now and again by one of those shrill, discordant wails. And you begin to hear these sounds of like, it's kind of hard to determine what it is at first. It's like a sort of like pounding, thumping, and occasional like sort of like shrill like ah! You realize that it is a like horde of creatures basically throwing themselves bodily just like into the lower defenses of the Estelgath, which you saw before when you were down in like the scavengers area. The magpie's little secured area is like literally porcupined with like pikes and things. Like, so these things, you hear them just like the sound of like wave after wave of them like crashing into and just impaling themselves on the outer defenses. You do hear the sounds of some combat, as it does seem like there are some people down this low. You hear the twang of bowstrings and these shouts of people like, that one there, on your left, look out! Your disc eventually comes into existence. Rana like clambers on top of it and sort of sits crisscross applesauce and hugs the lantern to her chest. And she goes, okay, I will begin the process. Get down to the ground level and out into the waste, and I will direct us from there once we get to that point.
All right.
So you see she immediately, like, the light from the lantern kind of begins to dim a little bit in her arms, and you see that the, like, scar tissue all along her arms and her neck and her face begins to, like, starts to sort of, like, coil with a little bit of energy, like, bleeding into them as if, like, she has become vaguely luminous from the inside, as she starts to, like, suck energy out of this battery, essentially. You guys leave out of the your hidey hole, and you do indeed see that, like, fairly nearby to you, there are a group of four individuals, three of them wearing Crimson Talon like garb, and one of them in like unidentifiable just like clothing, who are firing bows. Three of them have like bows, and one of them has a crossbow that they are shooting down over like the outside of this. You see that a portion of the slums down below has been like overrun by a group of these like horrible creatures that are in the process currently of, instead of like going the long way around and like up, are just trying to like scale their way up the rocky surface to get to where they like these guys are. You can see these creatures are most of them are like these little squat sort of like bipedal tick-looking creatures that basically just have like two like large clawed recurved raptor-like back legs and like a bulbous head that just ends in like a lamprey mouth with like circular rows of like gnashing teeth. There's about a dozen of those things like just sort of like scrambling over top of each other and like in among them you do see one creature that is more humanoid in shape, that is sort of shambling lower behind them. As you guys like run out and get a look down over, you see that this creature, it kind of looks like it was a person at one point, but it is like lumpy and bloated and misshapen. Its arms and legs are like twisted and gnarled, and from like the flesh, it looks like the bone has like extended and grown out, very similar to the way that like the wardens look. Like pieces of like osteoid bone has grown out and elongated, creating like a set of like essentially like picks as its like feet and one of its arms. One of its arms kind of like hangs off to the side, this like long sort of like floppy piece of like sinew and skin, to where you see it's like trails off behind it, lost in the swarm of these creatures. As you guys stand at the top of this this overlook, it like turns its head and looks up at you, and you see that it has like a little bit like Walter. It has these sort of like ink black like eye pits that are just like leaking a viscous dark liquid like down its chin, and it looks up in your guys' direction and it goes and it kind of like shifts its weight and it throws that like long sinewy thing up towards you, and you see on the end of it is a hand with like a spiked piece of bone sticking out of it, and it throws this thing in your guys' direction like a grappling hook.
I'm going to cast Gust on it to try to push it off.
Okay. Interesting.
Okay, I want to firebolt this thing away from us.
And Firebolt, I guess.
All right,
but
then let's roll initiative.
Yeah, I'm casting Toll the Dead, and Brahm is probably going, "You are one ugly," and casting Vicious Mockery.
It's just Colin.
I'm like, this is pretty cool.
Right.
Well, that's pretty cool.
19 initiative.
Nat 20 with a +3, so 23.
Nice.
Dirty 20.
14. And for Brahm,
Can't even roll good.
let's see, 13 on the die, and 18.
Okay.
This is why you don't peek. This is why you don't pick feats, kids. Just kidding. Feats are flavor.
Feats are flavored.
Never
Oh,
again.
Awful. I should know better than to repeat anything Jason says.
I was about to say, don't say that.
It's your mistake. You
Okay.
make it again.
I need that time machine.
As this thing flings this like hand grappling appendage up in your guys' direction, Osrius, you are going to be the first to react. Oh, he disappeared.
He's coming.
I'm right
I
here.
see the shadow. There he is.
Yep, I'm
Osrius,
right
you are
here.
the first to react.
Yeah, since I don't have any of my cool things, that's fine. I'm going to rage
Okay.
immediately, just because. I will rage. That will give 3 damage, 3 fire damage immediately.
None of these things are within fire damaging radius of you. You guys
Okay.
are up on a up on a ledge, and they are down
The
below.
hand just showed up like a grappling hook, so
Okay.
we're trying to not have that hand be here.
Then I'm doing 2 attacks. Can I do 2 attacks on the hand coming up, possibly, or
Or would he have to wait?
would I?
The
What's it-
hand
what's
is
it
an
grappling
an
onto?
attack. Nothing, because the hand is an attack, and it didn't get a surprise round, so like that action technically hasn't like occurred yet.
Okay, well then let me hold my action. Let me hold my action. Don't rage. Actually, can I just take that back? Then let me just hold an action that if it comes up over, if it gets up over the ledge there, I'm going to attack it.
Okay.
That's fair.
Alrighty, so you're holding your action that if one of these things gets up here, you're gonna.
Yeah.
Alright, sounds
I
good.
can attack it.
Alrighty, Zintrus, that's gonna bring us to you.
Firebolting this grappling hook thingy.
Okay, roll the hit.
The grappling hook isn't on the thing yet. It's but you're.
Oh, yeah, I'm trying to like knock
You're shooting
it,
the
like, out of
creature.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Math? Why am I? You think I'd be better at math after all this time of D&D? I am not. That is a 17 to hit.
17 hits.
Okay. 10 points of damage.
10 points of damage. Okay. You as this thing like winds the lasso arm up and like throws it, you shoot a firebolt. It streaks down, splashes across its chest in a mottled, like blistering, burning patch of flesh just like below its collarbone. It lets out this like keening, like as you hit it. And Walter, that'll bring us to you.
Okay. So we see it like coiling up its arm like it's going to do something, but it hasn't actually like launched its arm out.
This is all happening simultaneously, essentially, right? Like this is a 6-second round of stuff. Like the arm is being flung in your guys' direction.
Okay.
So I'm going to hold an action for when the arm is close to landing. I'm going to use Gust to try to blow it away.
Okay.
So I don't know how you want to handle that mechanically.
I will have it roll a disadvantage to hit.
Okay, and then like I'm not blowing the entire creature away. I'm just blowing its hand away.
Right.
Okay. So yeah, I'm holding my action for that to cast Gust on the hand in case it comes up here.
Alrighty. What do we want to have Brahm do?
I'm gonna have him cast Vicious Mockery.
Okay.
Wisdom save DC 16.
Nat 20.
Okay, nothing happens.
He's immune to mockery for one
Brahm
round.
goes, "Oh, a face only a mother could love." And the creature was already crying, so you can't tell if it had any effect on it or not. Alrighty. The archers are going to go. The 4 of them are going to loose shots at it. One of them lands a hit, dealing 3 points of piercing damage with a bolt as they fire. One of the archers, as everybody's piling into this thing, one of the archers turns to sees you guys coming and just gives you a quick nod of accepting you without question, to join into the fight. He turns to his fellow archers and he says, "Don't ignore the little ones."
What? I'm sorry. Did you say before? What color? Clothes?
Three of them are definitely Crimson Talon people. One of them is just a guy, as far as you can tell. He's got no signifiers. So he turns to his others and he says, "Don't forget, don't leave the little ones." He says, "They're just as bad if they get near you." And that'll bring us to the crying, wailing creature's turn. So it's going to make its attack with its harpoon arm, and I'm going to make that at disadvantage to signify Walter's gust. Okay, the higher of the two would have been a dirty 20. The lower of the two is a 19, which is enough. It flings that hand. That guy turns to towards his fellows. He says, "Remember, don't forget about the little ones." And then the hand goes into his chest, the spike, and the hand grabs his shirt, and he goes, "Ah!" And then it is going to use an ability called Sorrowful Embrace. He is going to make a Wisdom saving throw, which he fails, and takes 24 points of psychic damage. So this thing stabs into his chest and grabs his shirt, and his eyes roll back in his head and he goes limp, and then the thing pulls him over the side, and his body just is ripped over the edge, down into the crowd of these things, into this thing which just grabs him like this and immediately begins going and backing away through the horde of these things, just dragging this guy's corpse with it away from you guys.
Question: did his bow go over the side too?
Roll a d20, and if you beat what I rolled, his bow did not. It's worked out well for you guys last week.
14.
14. I rolled a 3. So his bow, he drops his bow like at his feet before he is pulled over.
No arrows,
so his
but I
bow
can
is on the
grab
ground.
arrow.
His arrows went over with him. Some of the other 3 guys, or 2 of them, still have arrows.
Okay, well, I'm picking up the bow with one hand. I'll grab arrows wherever I can later. I am the big guy's now out of range, but we still have the little ticking one, so I'm going to point at one in general and cast Toll the Dead. Wisdom saving throw 15.
Gets a 4 minus 2 is a 2.
Okay. So as they have not been injured, it's only 2d8. But I roll a 6 and a 7, so 13.
So one of the creatures, you cast out this spell, these sort of like boom reverberation, and one of these creatures goes like, and just like pops,
they're trash mobs.
like gore and ichor just splatters all over the other ones near it, which like don't even slow down as they continue to like try to like clamber up the sides. That is going to bring us to these things, which are going to collectively make an athletics check at disadvantage. Which, even so, they succeed. As several of these things pile over each other, and 3 of them get onto the ledge with you guys. So let's see.
I do a big hit. Maybe.
Oz, your held action is going to go off, so you can take a swing at one of these things as they come up.
Okay. That is a 20 non-natural.
20 definitely hits. Roll damage.
Yeah. Cool. That is a 15.
Okay, so 3 of these things manage to clamber over their companions and get to the top of this little terrace and launch themselves at the group of you. Osrius, at the ready, you basically bring your axe down through one of them as it jumps at you and just cut it in half, the 2 pieces continuing behind you and just sort of splatting on the ground. One of them is going to launch at another one of the archers, and it gets an 18, 20, 21 to hit. So it's going to hit him, and one of them is going to jump on...
That archer definitely had +3 magic plate melee.
Alar. 12 against Alar.
Miss.
Okay. So you manage to parry it so it and hits the ground and is in front of you. The archer to your right is less lucky as he scrambles to get his bow out of the way and try and defend himself, but it gets in under his defense, and that lamprey mouth just clamps onto his rib cage, and the thing dangles there as it clamps into him. He is going to take 2 points of piercing damage, but this thing holds onto him, and he immediately is trying to pull it off of himself as it just holds on. That is their turn. As you guys, as we come back to the top of the order, Osrius with you, Sinclair kind of growls from the back. He's like, we can't waste time. Come on.
Okay. I'm going to attack the one on the archer twice.
Okay, roll the hit.
I'm going to bonus action a rage while doing that.
I think you're already raging, right?
No, he
no,
opted not to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I opted not to. So, just these 2. One is going to be obviously 18 plus 8, which will hit, and 12 plus 8, 30, 20. Both of those hit, I'm guessing.
For sure. Oh, yeah.
Okay, cool. And we're going to have 13 for the first one, and then
That
12 for the
kills.
second one.
Oh, good
Oh
God,
yeah,
yes.
you definitely like overkill it. Your first cleave, he's like flailing around. You line up the axe, and like Lady Varen goes like looks between you and him as he's like freaking out, flailing around. She reaches forward and like grabs him by the arm, and like wrenches it back, twisting him to like turn the thing towards you. And your cuts down, and like you cut the back half of it off, which like the legs drop to the ground, then are like spazzing. That like lamprey mouth is like dead, but still like latched into him. So with your second swing, you're able to like come down, and you just sort of like jam the edge of the axe like in between the maw, and just like pry it off of him with this sickening. Comes out. There's this huge like chunk of flesh ripped off him. He's like, he falls to the ground. The other archer like grabs him under one arm and like begins to drag him back. Anything else with your turn?
No, that's it. I'm just at this point I'm just backing myself up to get ready to run because we only have one person left. So it's really just getting myself. It's like if that one's taken care of, then getting up and jamming.
Okay.
So I'm good.
It's interesting. It's your turn. There is one more of these creatures on the level with you guys.
Okay. I have a question.
Yes.
Even though this one on the level concerns me, but I have a more important question. Where these are all climbing up, and is it like a choke point? Like we can see a bunch of these things coming to like a specific part? Or are they climbing up all over this whole line? Like what's the
So
deal?
the way that the the Estelgath is designed, it is a series of like switchback trails and like looping trails that are like descending around and have been like carved out of the side of this mountain. So there's a number of like parts where several like terraces have been etched out that have like these descending pieces between them. From what you can see, you guys are like one tier up from the bottom at this point. From what you can see, like this particular like very bottommost terrace, outside of which is like the recurved exterior wall, which as you look, has been breached basically by like hundreds of these things just like buried themselves into the spikes until they like made a mountain of their own corpses, enough that like the rest of them were able to swarm over onto the terrace below you, and they are now trying to swarm up to your terrace. You guys know that you're going like where they're coming up at you this way, you guys are going that way down to where that you can like get out into the wastes via the magpie's like recurved dome thing, assuming that hasn't been overrun at this point. So you are going away from where these things are swarming up.
Alright, then I'm gonna hold off on what I wanted to do since we're moving away from it, and I'm just going to poison spray the last one sitting here.
Alright, roll to hit.
Plus all.
That's a 16 to hit?
For sure.
Oh, okay. It's this one. This one. 14 points of damage.
14, easily enough. You just like, and the noxious like vaporous poison spray like rolls over, and it's sort of just like
Like bug spray. Kind of what I'm thinking.
and it's like curls up on itself dead. Walter, that brings us to you. There are not currently any other ones like on the level with you, but like you can see there was like a dozen clambering up. There, like it's already like tripled the number of them that have like flooded into this area. Like, and you can see like outside the. If you remember, like the description of the landscape outside is it's sort of like extra large version of like salt flats, right? Where it's just like a spiderwork of like cracks and crevices. So like the surface is like barren and empty, but like there are passageway sized like spiderwebbed crevices all through, and you can just see the like royal of them like bubbling out of this like area outside the walls. There are like hundreds of these things coming.
Yeah. So we know that they're coming up the opposite direction we're trying to go anyway.
So far.
So far.
All right. So yeah, Walter's gonna like just use. I'm gonna dash my movement and try to like get there with Rana in tow because it stays within 20 feet of me. So
Okay,
I'm
so you're going
I'm
that way.
trying to get her out of that area.
Okay.
And I'm gonna dash the 60 feet towards where I need to go.
Okay. So you begin to head off. If nobody else is so on their turn, like the archers, Lady Viren kind of like gestures to the ones that are still alive, and she says, "You should retreat further up." And they waste no time in like scrambling up and beginning to like.
I'm gonna try and grab the quiver off the injured ones.
Easily done. You
Okay.
you take that. You get 13 arrows.
Sweet.
So
short
if-
bow, I presume.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
If nobody else is doing anything to engage these things as they swarm over, we'll switch back to narrative mode unless anybody else wants to act in this round of initiative.
I have an idea, but I'm not sure if I want to use it here. I'm just getting nervous about my spell slots, but at this point, like, this is from what I can see, here's my question. From what I can see, is this like a major point, or is this like where they're all this is happening all over the Estelgath, but like a lot are coming here from as far as I can see right now.
A lot are coming here. You probably don't have really any way to know what the situation is anywhere else besides like where you have been.
If only we had a way to collapse the entrance.
Well, I'm thinking if I do call lightning on this spot, it stays up for 10 minutes as long as I can keep concentration. So anything that keeps coming here, because I'm assuming that they're just going to keep funneling here.
They're going to keep funneling here, but we could use it behind us to prevent them from following and
That's
force
why
them to go up the tunnel.
That's why I'm not gonna use it now. Yeah.
Okay.
I wanted to have more spell slots there, but my freaking mentor guilt tripped me into sending what's his face a message. So here we go.
The moral high ground is indeed more resource intensive.
She and I are gonna have a conversation then.
That's why I got 2 spell slots and
Alar's going to look at her.
cantrips.
You're an Ignean noble. You don't get to talk about the fucking high ground.
Anakin, why?
Keep running.
You guys begin to make your way down towards the Magpies area, which, as you descend down, you see is still intact. There is still a group of magpies, like, inside, who are pretty effectively, like, keeping their little, like, domed thing from being overrun, as, like, it has been constructed with the ability to, like, stab out through it in mind. So there are a group of them still, feverishly at work down there, holding them off. But it does appear that they are doing so long enough to like gather all of their important shit and try and like bring it up in. So like supplies and things are being like crated up into a bunch of like carts, several of which are being pulled by these large lizard-like creatures, big enough that you probably could that they could be ridden, essentially. You see Minnow Pharaoh Splice, that gnomish Shadar woman, is quickly directing the traffic of like getting these things pulled up to try and keep these things from getting overrun and bring them up to safety, while occasionally like turning and firing a crossbow bolt like through an opening and like knocking off one of these things. Mixed in with mostly those little like tick creatures, you see several of the more like larger, more humanoid forms with like various distortions. Some of them you see have these like huge, like, over-distended jaws with these, like, gaping, cavernous mouths. Some of them you see have, like, have sprouted what almost look like crab legs, like, stabbing out at, like, odd, weird angles out of their torsos in all sorts of different directions. A couple, you see another couple of those, like, sort of lumpy, sad-looking ones, like, pawing at the outside of this cage, but the rattle makes it, like, hard to hear anything over, so, like, everybody's basically having to, like, shout to be heard.
Heading towards the gnome. You got a way to collapse this on the way out?
She sort of looks.
He's pointing back toward the entrance.
She looks at it and she goes, "Yes, I do. What the hell are you people doing down here? Everybody who's not crazy is already up above."
We're crazy.
We're crazy. High five.
She goes, "Fair enough. Well, I guess grab some things and get the caravan moving, and let's get the fuck out of here."
You can. We're gonna set you up. You go on ahead. Just get ready to collapse this behind us.
What do you mean? What are you people gonna do?
I'm gonna go out there, have a chat.
We're gonna buy you time.
Remember when we said we had nothing to lose in here? Just take the opportunity, and I start helping.
Fuck it. If you want to die, that's fine. Round it up. Let's go. We got some heroes here who are gonna buy us some time. Get moving. And they begin to, like, move their caravan towards the.
I'm gonna yell.
the
Do you have anything to spare that's explosive?
She, like, quickly jumps into into, like, a nearby. Oh, it's my watch that's. She jumps into, like, a nearby one of the carriages and pulls out something that is, like, wrapped in a thick, like, hide bundle, and it's about the size of, like, a cantaloupe, and she tosses it to you.
Okay. I'm gonna crack this open. We're gonna fling this. We're gonna run like hell. As soon as they drop the thing behind us.
All right. You, like,
We're
unwrap
we're
the...
stealing one of these lizard carts, right? Just.
If
Well,
there's
I'm
one
just gonna
that's
say that out loud. No, I'm gonna cast message at Zintrus and be like, "We're taking one of these lizard carts, right?"
As he says that, can I roll a perception check for one that is just currently, like, not being loaded up because they're rushing?
Make a perception. Yeah, you can make a perception check.
Because if I see one, I'm going to take it. 17.
Hang on.
Walked away from me.
Buffering.
please stand by.
Please stand by.
I had two thoughts about how I wanted to respond to that. I was either going to try to bribe her with, like, offering her a way out if she gives us a cart, or just tell her we're going to buy her time.
You do not see one that is currently... They only have, like, 4 of these things, and they are all currently being manned by magpies who are, like, using them to make it for the exit.
I message back to Walter. Your disc is working just fine. Do we really need to screw these people over?
You could turn to Rana and be like, how many people can you get out of here?
She says, "I can hold the passageway open for 30 seconds or so. Anyone who can run through it."
What?
All the magpies with us?
Hey, magpies!
Yeah.
I want to get out of here.
Out of here. Yes. There's there's monsters coming.
No, out of the entire Estelgath. We
There's
have
like
a way.
there's like a groan of the cage, and she goes, "Talk fast."
You let us hop in your things, and you get us
Follow us.
you get us out there quickly and efficiently. We could probably get at least a couple of you, most of you out. How many are there here? Like 5 or 6, like 10 guys?
10, yeah.
Probably everybody, if she's right. I'll look back at Rana and be like,
Math workout, Rana.
She nods.
And if all of us are also on a cart each, it's like we all go together. Okay.
Make a persuasion at disadvantage.
hoo-hoo.
Who's making this persuasion? Walter or me?
It was Walter that yelled at him, right?
Does it?
Oh my god! I rolled a 24 and a
Uh-huh.
25.
She looks like she is about to tell you to go fuck yourself. And then she pauses as she remembers, I gave these people some like shitty weapons and they said they were gonna go fight the butcher, and then like 15 minutes later the entire top of the goddamn fortress exploded. And these people all came back and are like, all right, peace, we're leaving. And she, like, you see the calculus in her head and she goes, fuck me. You're serious?
Maybe
huh?
later. Into the cart.
Gross. Change of plans. Turn it around. These people have a way out. Anybody who wants to
Everything you
risk
don't
getting
need, everybody in
murdered
the
by
cart.
monsters, let's move.
Point of order. I point to Rana. Protect her at all costs. She goes down. We're all gonna die.
She goes,
Clear?
She goes, standard procedure, form up and let's go. And they they begin just like dumping shit out of the carts to make room, and preparing to like get out through the door. Like like basically they're preparing to like blow open the gate and then like Mad Max it out of here.
Yes.
As you guys begin to make these preparations, so Alar, that explosive that she gave you, as you like unwrap the leather, you see that it's basically a shrapnel bomb. So it has like a fuse to light, and you see it's like a worked metal shell that has just like a bunch of sharp pieces of like jagged metal debris inside it. The idea being like you can light it and throw it, or you can like stick it into something with one of the spikes on the outside. Light it and it will like go off and like blast a bunch of shrapnel in a direction.
All right. Your way to collapse this. Do you need does someone need to be on it?
She goes, no, we'll take care of it. Just
Okay.
get in position.
He's got a flint and tinder.
If you want
Okay.
that bomb, just tell me when, Alar.
As you guys,
Oh, that's right.
as you guys prepare, you get it. You get in order. So you have 4 of these lizard carts. That now that like a lot of the stuff has been removed, can hold probably like 4 people comfortably a piece. And then like a rider rides and like drives the lizard. So like, however you guys want to work your sort of formation here, you can take a moment to like get that in order.
I can hold concentration on the floating disc for an hour, and it will follow at any speed.
Okay.
Which is a fascinating aspect of that spell that I didn't realize. It just stays within 20 feet of me at all times. So stuff or people can ride on the floating disc.
24, 10 magpies, 6 of us, Lady Viren, Sinclair. So 18.
I can't ride on it.
On the disc.
Right. So there's 16. We're 2 up.
So you've got 4 carts with 4 each, which is 16 people. 4 riders on the lizards.
Oh, 16 plus. Okay, that's 22.
Right. So you have
20. It's 20. So we're good. We have,
So
we don't
I
know.
guess let's say there are four of the 10 magpies are riding the
Yeah,
lizards.
that's their lizards. We're not playing with their lizards.
Right, like they'll handle that part, which leaves 6 of them, and then your group.
Yeah, we're fine.
Oz, you go with Lady Viren and Rana. Walter, you as well in one cart.
Gotcha.
Z, you and Brahm over there. I'll go in this one.
Okay, you let me know when you want that bomb set off. I'll be listening.
Put the bomb on the floating disc.
And he tosses it onto it.
Okay,
Smart.
so in cart 1 we have Oz, Viren, Rana. In cart 2 we have Zenata, Brahm. In cart 3 we have Alar.
Walter's gonna be in cart 4.
4 is Walter.
Just so we have the mine following behind us at the farthest possible distance, so I can.
So you've got to place Sinclair and Rogers in carts.
Rogers and Sinclair. Rogers should go with Rana because.
Sure.
You know,
Okay.
that's
So that cart is full.
Okay.
Sinclair with Brahm,
Sinclair
Yeah.
with Brahm. Okay.
obviously.
Walter.
I'll take magpies.
I was gonna say Walter. The hell is she? Minnow Ferrosplice is gonna go with you in your wagon, and then 2 magpies, 3 magpies with Alar, and 1 with. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, that's actually okay. So not 1 here. So 3 with Alar, 2 with Walter and Minnow, and then the other 4 are driving the carts. So that is your arrangement. As you guys get situated, you get the disc floating behind you. Alar, you like pile in. Everybody starts to pile in. The creatures are like banging and rattling at the cages. Since you guys are further to the back, Alar and Walter, make me perception checks.
Don't worry, I reliably roll terrible on perception. It's an 11.
29.
Okay. Alar, there's only 2 guys climb into your cart with you. Which you're like, fuck, where? And you go and you look. One of the magpies is at the back of the chamber. Like the back of, so like you guys are near the gate. One of them is back near the like near the entrance to that short tunnel, and has his back to you guys.
What's with that one? I ask.
You call over to like Minnow, and she turns and looks. She goes, "Fuck, I don't know. Hey, what are you doing? We have to go." And the individual turns around, and as he turns, you see that. I thought the cameras just got messed up. You see that he has like a brown magpie's like cloak pulled up and over. But as he turns around, you see that like he's wearing the cloak over a set of tattered black robes with a chain wrapped around his torso, and he has one of the bombs in his hand with the fuse lit, and he cracks into a maniacal grin. And he says, "Oblivion comes for us all!"
Oh, should have seen that one coming. How far away is he?
25 feet.
Is it lit?
It's lit.
It's lit.
You have like a moment to take an action, any of you who want to.
I'm
Time stop. Pause real fast. I have to check my spell list.
How close is it?
how
Is
many
he close to an edge at all?
He's
close to
like there's like the tunnel that leads back up, and then like where the metal outskirt wall. He's like standing like there against the edge of the wall, about to like smack this bomb onto the corner here and like blast open the metal cage that's keeping these things out.
What kind of ground is he standing on?
Rock.
Balls.
Okay.
I would like to frostbite. Oh no, because yeah, I'm gonna frostbite this dude.
No.
I would like to cast Mage Hand and basically grab and the bomb and kind of move it toward the entrance.
No. Pull it.
Pull it toward.
I
Okay.
have a plan.
Then Alar's going to try and use the Force.
Prestidigitation to instantly snuff out a. It says light or snuff out a candle, a torch, or a small campfire. I'm snuffing out.
Okay, cool.
The thing on.
Okay, so here's what we'll do. Walter rolled a hit.
So
Oh, he's dexterity save.
it's a con save for frostbite,
con save,
but
rather.
if we're doing pull and snuff, I'm going to push instead, and he has to make a strength save for gusting.
Okay.
So I'm going to try to push him while Alar pulls the
I'll
bomb
use his
out.
same roll. His roll is a 10.
It's a 14, so
Yeah, so he fails. Alar,
he goes 10 feet backwards.
make a sleight of hand check with your hand. And I'll roll at disadvantage.
Yes. 26.
Okay, he gets a 5. And Zindris, you don't have to roll anything because you just do that. So he goes,
As soon as it gets in range, it just goes out.
he goes, Oblivion comes for us all. And then like simultaneously is like, gusted. He goes, oh! The bomb is pulled out of his hand and then just the fuse goes out. And he's like back against the wall and he's like, oh.
And as he goes, oh, I just look at him and I just go, you're worthless, and I'm going to firebolt him.
I was gonna say I'm gonna
Okay.
Eldritch Blast him
Yeah.
as well.
and Minnow Pharaoh's place is like, fucking Oblivionites, and just like starts shooting crossbows. No rolls or anything necessary. He's like, oof, and he's like,
I mean, I got
oh.
2
He's
turns on
like,
it, so he's out.
Oh,
so he goes like,
And now we have another bomb. Now
and
we have
falls
2 bombs.
and falls like slides dead to the ground.
all
I
right.
was like, wait, Prestidigitation has a thing for snuffing this stuff out. Let me
It
double
does.
check. But I needed it closer to me, and I was like, oh crap, I don't remove that fast. Teamwork.
All right, so you guys, that taken care of, you guys line up at the exit here. The creatures are like rattling on the cage. The charges have been like planted on the gates to like blast them outside. So Minnow Ferris Place goes, all right, get ready. The lead magpie who like dismounts his lizard to like take a look at the path forward. He says, oh jeez, I don't know, ma'am, there's an awful lot of them out there. We could maybe, can we thin them out a little bit before we bust open the gates? I don't know that we're going to be able to make our way through.
No, the bomb will also hurt maybe the lizards or the things.
I'm going to. Is it small enough to put through the holes in the cage?
The bomb?
Yes.
No, probably not.
Okay, is my cart close? Well, I don't know what cart I'm in.
I mean, Walter was just start blasting in front.
I was
at
gonna.
this point.
I was gonna use a thunder wave to knock
do
everything
that.
back.
Are you in the front?
I don't know. if I'm in front.
Sinclair goes like, he goes like snaps his fingers like, your tube sock full of glitter stuff.
Oh,
Throw it.
Alar's going to throw a couple of, hand a couple of them out. That way.
They take 'em, they're like,
And here's the pitch.
Alrighty, everybody piles in. The one guy like remounts his lizard. You get ready. Minnow Ferris' eyes is like, alrighty. Was were one of you guys like planning to do the honors, or you? She did say like she could do it, but like, okay.
She
We'll
can
let her
do
do
it, but we also have the bonus bomb now. So
Yeah.
the bonus bomb is a depth
It's
charge in
backup.
case something gets too close to the back end.
Yeah.
So she goes, alrighty, everybody, get ready. 3, 2, 1. And she snaps her fingers, and she is going to use a produce flame cantrip and just ignite the fuse on the setup that they have. And then a moment later, the bombs like blast the hinges off of this heavy gate, and it like swings outward. A pair of like heavily spiked like slammers just crushing a bunch of these things in their wake. Simultaneously, the 4 magpies like kick the lizards, which like begin to immediately rush forward. You guys start to roll forward. Momentarily, like a gap is blasted into these things, leaving an open passageway into the nearest like winding path forward. As you guys emerge from the safety of the gate, Minnow like turns around and snaps again to spark the bomb on the tunnel, and poof, blows that one, causing the collapse behind you. Several of those guys that you handed out like throw the distraction decoys like away. They sort of like burst open as they throw them, and these things like swarm onto the shimmering concentrated like snowball of glint that comes out of them, and you guys manage to like escape into the tunnels, or not tunnels, I guess, ravine,
Canyon?
sort of like a canyon, yeah, small short canyon. It's only about 15 feet high. But you guys managed to escape into the darkness of the wastes outside of the Estelgath.
All right.
Things,
The drivers have dark vision.
they seem to be doing fine.
Okay.
What a lovely day.
So it's sort of it's sort of like a grim gray, like almost like a perpetual like pre-dawn flat color to everything. So like there's enough to sort of see by. They begin wending their way. As you guys make your way outward, Rana begins like giving directions to the lead caravan anytime you come to like a turn that needs to be made, and you begin wending your way steadily away from the Estelgath. You can hear the like shrieks of the swarm attacking the fortress growing like fainter and fainter in the distance. As you get further out, Minnow says, "Boy, I really hope you people know what you're talking about. The majority of them seem to be focused on swarming the fortress right now, but there's always a couple of stragglers lurking where you least expect them. Stay on your guard."
On my signal, light that, and I'll stop the trailer
He nods.
in case we have to blow the canyon behind us.
We got the one person in this entire world who's gotten out of here. That's the one that we're protecting above all others. She can get us out, and I don't care what the hell you did to get in here.
Hey, you're helping us get out. Maximo, owe you a favor.
You continue through the dark and gloomy gorges and ravines of this cracked wasteland. You really can't ever see anything any more than like 50 feet in front of or behind you, and like a sliver of the blank, featureless expanse above at any given time, leading to an impending sense of like claustrophobia and the feeling that you are always being watched from just out of your line of sight. You roll for about 20 minutes forward steadily. Occasionally you hear the sound just in an adjacent corridor of this cracked arid land of skittering claws or the sort of fleshy shuffle of some unspeakable horror just outside of your radius of your little group. Suddenly, one of the lead lizard drivers pulls up the reins and holds up a fist like this, and the others stop. And a creature wanders out in front of all of your path. It is large and humanoid in shape. It has sort of pale green-gray blotchy skin. It has two heads, sort of. One of its heads is sort of almost like a goiter with a face grown out of the first head's neck. Its arms end not in hands, but in these two recurved, bony scythes. And it steps out into the open here, and it turns and it looks at your group, and it goes, what are you guys doing?
Let me see.
Are they all gearing up to shoot it? They're all raising arms?
Make an insight check.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna call.
I'd like to figure out what the other people are doing because Walter's
24.
never experienced this before.
Because if they're not doing anything, I'm not I'm following Minnow's lead. This is
It's
him.
a
Okay.
13.
Okay.
24.
I wish I had the spell catapult so I could catapult this explosive at its face.
You turn and look. Minnow and the other magpies are sitting stock still. They're kind of looking down like this, and their hands are all just placidly rested at their side. With the 26 interest, you catch the eye of one of the ones in the cart behind you, on the lizard, who kind of looks up, and he goes
I will start as barely above a whisper messaging each person with me very quickly. Don't move, 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 don't move.
Yeah,
When
so
Walter
if
hits it, I assume he's doing that too.
yeah,
I'd hit
Walter's gonna be like, all right.
first, don't move, tell the others, and then don't. Very
Yeah, so the
quiet.
message cantrip is it's a whisper only you can hear. It's not audible.
Yeah.
At all. So.
I mean, even in my head, I'm saying it quiet to kind of set the tone of just don't even make a sound. Don't it's all
Alright.
just very
Alright.
just gonna-
As soon as he gets that and he sees what the others in the cart are doing, it's look down. All of a sudden moves.
begins to stomp its way into your midst, walking between the two rows of carts. Osrius, both of its heads look at you, and it comes up, and it even with you like in the cart and it on the ground, its head comes like almost to a height with you as it comes up and it gets right in your face and it just goes.
Okay.
What do you do?
I'm just gonna stand there and like stare it down. Like I'm gonna
Okay.
sit there. Like if I'm in the car, I'm gonna like just stare it down. Like just try not to move, not
Okay.
moving, just staring.
It like does this. You just stare. And you see like the two heads kind of turn towards each other and start like. And it like turns and it starts like slamming its clawed hands like into the ground over and over and over again. It whips past your guys' cart and starts like slashing the walls. Turns back, like looks at you, like screams one last time, in like a petulant rage, and then it just and stomps off. It disappears around the corner. Its feet fade away.
Ooh.
I
What the
send
hell
him-
was that?
In
Minna-
case you ever wondered, that is exactly what you look like when you rage.
I look to the
Sheesh.
one driving our car and I just go, is everything out here reactionary or was that a special one?
He's like, he says, different ways to deal with all of them. And Minnow speaks up and she says, we call that one the angry. When people turn here, the worst of their emotions dictates what they become. Those ones, they're the ones who gave into their rage and their hatred. She says, we're lucky. She says, if you engage with them, it only makes them angrier and stronger. Sometimes you can confuse them and get them to move on by not engaging with them. She says, it doesn't always work.
No kidding.
Let's keep moving.
You guys continue to move on.
As we go, I just say, next time we see one, if you have the chance, give us a hint of what to do, because I was about to slam that thing before I saw none of you were moving.
She says, pretty easy, Tip. They're the only ones you want to handle like that. The rest
Anything
of them,
else?
so the rest of them take down as quickly as possible. She goes,
to
we've
know.
seen a few types. She says, most of them have the same MO. She says, the little ones, they're just swarmers. Most of the other types, one way or another, they try to grab you and drag you off.
The one that was crying earlier, that we saw one crying that drags somebody off. What's the point? Does it turn them? Does it eat them?
She says, we're not sure.
Cute. Great.
Aylar's
Well,
gonna
Walter's
try
gonna like
something.
turn to his interest and say it's probably best we don't know.
And
I just meant I want to know.
let's see
in
if you
case
can find
any
me from here, my
trouble
friend.
takes me.
And he's gonna see if he can summon his familiar.
I think you can. I don't see a reason why you couldn't.
I'm not sure. We're in a different plane, so his pocket gets a little heavier. I need your eyes, my friend, and skitters up around his shoulders. Walter, you might want to get Morgan looking out for us too.
Oh, was she an owl or was she a raven? We'll find out, I guess, and I'll like see if I can snap her into existence here.
Yep. She appears.
Oh, right. I'm pretty sure. Where's my extras. Instead of a raven or an owl, a spider pops up.
Oh shit. Yep.
But you can spontaneously
Wait.
choose a new form for.
No,
You
we
can
last
redo
time
the
we had
ritual to
more-
change forms.
You have to
No,
redo the
no,
ritual to
last
change
time-
form.
Oh, that's right.
Last time we had Morgan, she flew the bag out to Rogers in the board.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh
That's right.
yeah,
So
yeah,
she was,
yeah.
She was just
I don't
okay.
know
So
what form
she was
in, but she was flying.
Well, there's flying spiders now. Congratulations on that. new
Nah,
nightmare.
she can be back to her normal raven form.
All right. Yeah. So regular raven form. That's okay.
No problem.
So she doesn't have dark vision, but
Yeah, neither does a celestial weasel, but an extra pair of eyes.
She can mimic sounds it's heard, so we might be able to confuse the angry ones again if we come across it. Yep. All right. I guess we'll carry on and have Morgan fly above.
Okay.
See if I can get a heads up on any other creatures.
Cool.
I guess since I'm sitting in a cart, I'll like watch through her senses, so that
Sure.
makes
Make survival checks for both of your familiars.
alright, the familiar. You have a +1 wisdom, so I get a +1 for
Let's see, 5 familiar.
survival.
Weasel.
Cool, 8.
Survival. It'll be only a +1 because it's not trained. 18.
Okay. So through Morgan, Walter, you are able to determine after about another 10-15 minutes of traversing. Rana says, "We are nearly there. Another few minutes, and we will be at the place where we can cross over." And through Morgan, you see that like the sort of snowfall of that spectral material that they call glint has slowed and stopped. You're too far away from the Estelgath to really get a good look of like what's going on back there, like how the defense is going at this point. But you can see that the like snowfall of that shimmering blue-green energy has subsided now with the aftermath of the explosion. Scooter is able to steer you guys clear of another couple of encounters. Are you looking through his eyes as well, Alar, or is he like reporting back to you?
He's reporting back to me, so I'm counting on his nose rather than his eyes.
Okay. So he steers you clear of some of these creatures a number of times, and allows you guys to like proceed and get sort of right up to your final destination without having another issue. As you guys enter, what Rana tells you is like, she's like, "We're here," and you come out of the like trail that you've been following into like a smallish little open area. Hi, are you coming to visit me? Come on. Well, come on.
Misadventures of Adventure Pup.
Olive came in for a visit.
Dogs for Life said flying spiders are nopicorns.
Nopicorns.
I appreciate it.
Very fair.
There is a single gnarled, blackened, lightning-struck tree in like the center of this opened area. There are no leaves to be seen on it. However, there is something in the branches. And that's something I will send to you guys in Discord. Hang on.
Fresh hell awaits us this time.
And at the same time, I'm going to try and pop it up on...
Is it golden fruit?
Oh, you've got to be shitting me.
Walter's immediately going to crack into open laughter.
8 black cats with luminous glowing eyes sit in the branches of the tree looking down at you as you roll into this area. And you hear, My little mice. You're quite far from home, aren't you?
Well, you know, we gotta put on a show.
Oh, yes. That was arrangement, was it not? If I followed you, you promised me entertainment and intrigue. In exchange, I told you I would offer you assistance from time to time, did I not?
I believe that was the arrangement.
You held up your bargain better than I might have hoped. Tell me, what do you think of my home? Horrible, isn't it?
That explains so much. Sorry we blew part of it up. We're not really that sorry.
No. I don't care about the fortress. This place. I told you when we met. My home was decimated. My kind were forced to make a choice. Either flee to your world and find other means of sustaining ourselves, or stay here and become... Well, you've seen some of them.
Ooh. Ah. Well, I hope you haven't had your fill of intrigue yet. We've found more strings to pull, as it were.
I expect there's much more entertainment to come from you. I did say I would help, though, did I not?
You did indeed.
Then let me help. I told you if my kind did not flee to your world and find alternate sources to sustain ourselves, we would become something different. One of them is coming.
That sounds fun.
What can you tell us about the one coming?
How are you planning to help is probably the better question.
Oh, I already helped. Now you can prepare yourself.
Better than nothing.
And the 8 distinct forms of the Grimalkin disappears from the tree.
All right, Rana, get right by the tree. Viren, you're right next to her. Sinclair, you make sure nothing happens to those two. Same with you, Rogers. Everybody else, get ready. Something big's coming.
Flip the carts, make a defensive perimeter.
Rana says, should I begin to open the passage?
Yes.
She nods. She points at like a hollow beneath the tree, and she says, "This will take me a minute. I will go as quickly as I can."
When she says it's ready, everybody starts piling in.
The area this tree is in, is there paths to get to it? And if so, can we have the carts block off
Sure.
the entrance to the path? And if there's more than 4 paths, I'm going to put the bomb in one of them.
Yeah, how many entrances to this?
Let's call it 4 paths for the sake of satisfactory.
I'm also going to try and get the lizards to go down each of those paths to,
I'm not. No, I like that.
they ain't gonna fit, and they might,
They
serve as a
live here.
meal.
Well, they also live here, so they'll probably be fine. You're free now. Be free.
You're free now. It's fine.
So if we're using the carts to block 1 or 2 paths, and we have the bomb in the other, we have 2 bombs.
Yep, we have 2 bombs. We'll use the carts as a barrier, and whatever this thing is, we'll figure out what path it is when it destroys a barrier or whatever.
Mhm.
We can reposition the bombs via mage hand that way and blow them.
Got it. I am, for the record, just going to hold the call lightning spell that I wanted to use earlier.
Okay.
Walter's gonna
Whenever
hold
I
one of the
see
bombs
whatever
in
this
mage
thing
hand
is,
and gesture for Alar to do the same, so we can
move the bomb and do the
so
thing.
we can rapidly move the bombs.
Okay.
Oz, get ready to. If
I'm
this
just
fails,
I'm just here for a good time.
I
I watched it. I watched
know,
things
look,
go
high
boom.
five. I know. Look, high five, Oz.
I back mage hand high five Oz, except I go to do it and there's a bomb in it, so I pull it back at the last second.
Oh.
Brahm is going to Bardic Inspire Rana.
Oh yeah, that's good.
This is now the time to really not fuck this up.
She like tosses aside the like now like fully depleted and inert lantern, and she is casting like a 10-foot circle of dim like blue light around like herself, as she is like fully charged up. She moves over and she puts her hands like on the trunk of the tree, and instantly like the tree begins to like, as if it is like drawing the energy out of her, like these veins of like blue begin to run up the length of the tree, and as they like reach the terminal ends of the like gnarled deadened branches, they burst into like swelling blue firefly like lights which unfurl into glowing blue semi-translucent leaves, making a spectral canopy on the tree as she begins the process of transferring the energy into this passage.
Does this tree look familiar at all? Yeah.
Does this tree
Hold
look
that
familiar to? I say, does this
hold
tree
the
look
thought.
familiar
I'll
to
hold the
Walter
thought.
and his terrified visions?
Also
No, but
somebody else's
also
visions.
good
Oh.
question, and hold that thought, Osrius.
I will hold that thought.
That's right.
Yes, there is a tree.
So, about 30 seconds go by. She, like, charges up this tree. Everybody just stands, waiting. And then you hear it.
Oh shit.
A, like,
I don't wanna hear it.
whisper light sound of almost like a silk curtain being drawn aside. A whoosh of light fabric on light fabric, almost, of shadow sliding across the ground. And from the top of the like flat Badland gorge, like the level above you, you see hand curls long fingers over the edge. And then another. The creature pushes itself upright atop the ground at the upper portion and as it rises, it seems to be made of like darkness and insubstantial material, but it coalesces and becomes solid as it rights itself. It is made of this pure, like, ink black, sinewy, chitinous material, stretched thin over bony, elongated limbs. It lifts itself up to a height that is nearly 3 stories tall, and a pair of violently glowing blue eyes beneath a head crested of, like, gnarled, swirling, twisted horns takes shape and turns to look in all of your direction as this creature.
So did you say 3 stories tall? This thing's 18 feet tall.
Yes. This creature appears.
Very quiet, but very rich curse in Draconic.
Walter's gonna, like, look at it, look at the carts, look at it again, and then look at Alar. Eh? And it just
Yeah, we huck the bombs.
just mage hand the bombs in this thing's direction. And what's her name? Magpie lady?
Minnow.
Minnow.
Yeah, Minnow.
Are we hearing?
Do the thing.
Are we hearing canon in D minor right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You hear singing in Latin starts, and you're like, oh no!
Oh, it's got a mana bar.
I'm gonna start crouch rolling.
I'm gonna wait for the bombs to hit, and then I'm gonna hit the call lightning.
Yeah, so we're gonna
He's like, I hate you.
Yeah, we huck the
mage hand
bombs.
drift those bombs.
Alrighty.
I don't like it.
Sure. You can open up with mage handing those bombs. Roll to hit.
I guess with what's it called, modifier?
Spell attack.
I guess a spell attack. Yeah.
Sure. That's fine.
So, let's see, my spell attack is.
It's a +7.
Oh, I actually don't have anything that has a direct attack.
Oh, I got a 10.
So yes. Roll the 10. I think if I'm doing it right, it's proficiency plus spell modifier, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Sure.
Then
Technically, you
that
probably
is
shouldn't get your proficiency bonus because it's an improvised weapon, but that's fine.
Okay. Then with proficiency, it is a 17. Without, it's 14.
Okay. Either way you hit. The 10 does not.
So it kind of like, I mean, I was just gonna like
So
mage
here's-
hand push it.
Yeah, I mean,
against
like,
it,
so here's the thing. Like, it is still an explosive. So, Alar, you throw yours and hit it, and the like spikes sticky bomb it to the thing. Walter, yours misses. How are you like triggering, like lighting?
I was
these?
having Minnow like light it as I was.
Gotcha. Okay.
As I was moving it, like.
So Minnow can
it'll-
do that. Minnow will light the 2 of these. It's gonna take half damage from yours, Walter, since you didn't like
Sure.
hit it with the bomb. It'll take full damage from yours, Alar. I would like each of you to roll 3d12.
Okay.
Damn. Get ready to roll 3 points of damage, boys. Let's go.
I swear.
That was a joke. 22.
Okay.
So half of that is 11.
So 7 and 1 and 11, so 19.
Alrighty. A total of 30 points of damage to open things up. And let's roll initiative.
Because my call lightning go off since I said I was holding.
Oh yeah,
that?
if you're holding call lightning, you can certainly do that as
Okay.
well.
And I have another question, really quick. Would the weird sky underneath be considered "quote unquote" stormy?
It wouldn't even be considered "quote unquote" sky.
That would give me
Why
another 10.
why do you ask?
It says if you're like considered outdoors in like stormy conditions, you get another D10.
Ah, yeah, add your D10. That's fine.
Oh, okay.
Spirit Storm. It counts.
Okay.
You should, take the extra damage. You're gonna need it.
I know that's why that's really. I'm gonna- That's 33 points of damage. Dex save of 15. So
Dex save of 15.
yeah, so it takes half of it.
Gets a 14. It fails.
Okay, so 33
damage.
points of damage. 33.
Alrighty,
Nice.
so 63 points of total
And
damage to open the
that-
volley up.
So it is a 60-foot like cylinder. So I wanted to put it where it started and like kind of like between us and it. Assuming
Okay.
it's just gonna like kind of move towards us,
Sure.
and I'm gonna keep it there.
Okay.
And it will keep taking that.
Somehow, I think this thing doesn't have traditional movement.
I
But
agree, but at the same point, this is the best I can do.
Okay.
Walter agrees. Thumbs up.
Initiative.
16.
Alar got a 11.
18.
Rom rolls a natural 20.
Nice.
17.
So that'd be a 25.
So Brom first.
Apparently so.
Unless this thing rips us. I'm also. Can I really quick, as this is all kicking off, I glare back at Viren, even though she's like guarding Rana, but I'm like, now would be the time for you to show off how you started teaching me. And I look back at this thing because I'm a little frustrated with her chilling right now.
No. She's guarding. This different. She's managing.
He's supervising.
Yeah, this is supervising.
She's
better
also
have a
without
very
equipment and spell components for most of
I don't
her
care. She
shit.
and Eric are having a very long talk after this.
Alrighty.
You sold yourself for 1d10 cantrip.
Okay. Alrighty. Okay. Oh, I gotta roll for Rogers as well. And the creature. Oh no. Alrighty. Brahm is gonna be the first to take an action.
Let me see. I think it's time to go all in. So I'm going to burn his highest level spell slot. It needs to make a wisdom saving throw. Orc is 16.
Roll a 4. I don't know what its modifier is, but it probably doesn't matter.
I am casting Dissonant Whispers.
Okay.
So it will take 76, and it must use its reaction to move away.
The condition is frightened, correct?
Let me see.
Probably yes.
It is an enchantment spell. It doesn't say. It racks it with terrible pain. It doesn't say anything about fear.
Interesting. Okay.
Let me see. So,
It takes d6 psychic damage, and immediately uses
Yeah,
its
if
reaction.
it's immune to psychic damage, it takes nothing, but
Okay. It is not immune to psychic damage. So it takes how much damage?
7d6.
10, 14, 17, 20, 22, 23
Okay.
points of psychic damage.
Alright.
Oh,
Rom just starts humming
Can
a
we
little
do,
bit
can we do
off-key.
100 HP of damage to it before it takes its turn? Let's find out.
Let's find out.
I
So that's
hope-
Brom's turn.
Yep, that's Brom's action.
Use its reaction to move 30 feet, 40 feet away.
Oh, it's very fast.
And then
Does-
it is its turn.
But
It uses
The
its
answer-
action. It like lifts off the ground and like swoops like a phantom 40 feet back. It like
Into the
lands
lightning zone?
back. No, not quite into the lightning zone.
It's a 60-foot cylinder, so it's kind of like if I put it on it and like kind of between, it would if it went 40 feet right back in, it would come right back into it though.
It will go. It will go at what. It will go back at whatever angle is not going to fly back into a lightning zone.
So I'm
I understand your pain.
It doesn't really have to get that close for what happens next, as it kind of alights back on the ground with this like feather-light step, and it turns in the direction of the group of you, and it opens a like abyssally dark void of a mouth, and it just goes. And
If that was a word, I didn't hear what it was.
it wasn't a word, it was just a terrible noise.
Okay.
And it lifts one clawed finger, and it points it at Minnow.
Oh, no.
And she's going to make a wisdom saving throw. She gets a 19.
Please don't
No.
tell me this is a figure of
She gets a
death.
I was
19.
gonna say,
She
it's
fails.
absolutely finger of death.
Please don't tell me. Yeah,
she-
oh, it is.
It points at her, and she screams and blows apart in
Ugh.
a like cloud of like black soot, and is gone.
Ah.
And that is we will end tonight's session.
Oh, come on. You shit. Figure of death. Woohoo!
I don't think it was finger of death. I think it might have been power word kill.
Power word kill? Maybe.
Maybe. I don't know. It was.
It
It was
doesn't-
In any case,
Its ability is technically called Finger of Doom.
Finger of
it
doom.
is,
Great.
but it is power word. Fuck you, you're dead.
Yeah,
Powered
power word.
fuck you in particular. Well, on that
Wow.
note,
Oh, poor
we will call an end to tonight's session. So, thank you guys for joining me. As always, my players. Thank you guys at home who are tuning in with us for joining us. Thank you to our sponsors, Little Dragon Corp and Cardboard Castle. And of course, thank you to Gary Con for having us be part of their festivities in this March to Gary Con. Be sure to check their stuff out on their official Gary Con Twitch channel, which I believe is...
Just had it up.
I think it's Gary. It's just Gary Con or Garcon. Let me get it.
Just had it too. Damn.
It is. I don't know. It's written both ways in the copy that they gave me. If you just, I did it earlier. If you just type Gary Con into the Twitch search, you'll find them. They come up. And be sure to look out for their special sessions all the rest of this March. And of course, come check us out over on their channel on March 25th at 7 p.m., where we will be playing a special one-shot run by DM Michael with a bunch of us here from Probo and a special person who is 100% more legit than we are, who has agreed to come play with us.
Actually, no. It's
official as it's official in the Twitter in the chat. Oh,
Well, it's official in the chat.
the special guest.
special
And
guest.
their
Yes, we can
identity.
announce the special guest.
Where did they put
It
in the
is-
chat that it's official?
It's in the Probo chat. It's in the
Yeah.
Probo
Well,
Discord.
no, it's in stream chat as well. It's up
Oh.
above Dogs for Life.
Oh, I was looking at. Okay, well then, if I'm allowed to announce it, then it is Tony Winslow Brill, who has worked on many a project. She's a writer, a game developer, all sorts of good things. We are playing a module out of an officially published book, which she was a writer on. So no pressure to us.
No.
Help!
Candlekeep Mysteries.
Help!
Yes, we're going to be playing some Candlekeep Mysteries. But
That help.
well, no, look, she's on our side, so it'll be good because she already knows all the hacks because she wrote the module. No, I don't think she wrote on the one that we are going to be participating in, but she did write. She's credited in that book. So like I said,
Awesome.
100 million% more legit than us, and we thank her for lowering herself to our level to play with us.
Thank
So
you.
be sure to stay tuned for that.
Yes.
Um,
and that's just again at twitch.tv/GaryCon Live on Saturday. to
Gary
watch
Con
that.
Live, there it is.
GaryCon Live.
Alrighty, well, hey, thank you guys for joining us as always, and we'll catch you next time. Bye.